We are back, and we have callers waiting, including Jeremy in Florida. Welcome, Jeremy. How are you today?
Hey, I'm all right. Congratulations on 17 years of doing what you've been doing on this program. I've really enjoyed what I've caught, and
thank you so much.
Appreciate it. Oh shoot! Hold on, this GPS thing is driving me nuts. Let me turn it off. All right, sorry. Hello?
Yeah, you're here.
I was just curious how much. I've had synchronicities that have changed my mind about the existence of something that could pull strings in our reality. And I'm just curious how many or how strong of synchronicities, or if it's, do you foresee any amount of synchronicity that could happen to y'all in your lives that would change your mind to being believers?
No, I don't. I would take evidence. Not just coincidences. I mean, so I'm assuming by synchronicity, you mean like coincidences, things happening that, enough things breaking your way. Now you believe is that kind of what you meant by synchronicity?
Yes. Even I've had rapid fire type synchronicities happen, and it's really hard for me to pull myself away from not having a belief that something can pull strings according to what I've experienced.
Maybe we haven't had
very logical, and I totally understand y'all's arguments.
So I agree. I mean, Jim and I. Here we go. It's the twin show again. I just can't say Jim and I. I've seen lots of coincidences, and one of my favorite things that keeps happening, Jeremy, is amongst my atheist friends, something coincidental will happen, and we will look at each other and go, back when I was a believer, that would have been, more proof that there's a God who's looking out or wants this to happen or whatever it is like that. And now it's not. And the longer I live, and I hope to live a good long while, but the longer I live, the more coincidences I run across and the less impressive they become, because the more I learn about how weird and wild the world is. I'm somebody I'm not famous, but I'm a little bit of a public figure. And so occasionally I get recognized out on the town or in airports. I've been going to a lot of reptile conferences lately because I'm starting a new business doing that. That's not why I'm leaving the show, but I'm starting a new business. And I've been recognized at 2 of the last 3 reptile conferences because there's an overlap between people who like weird stuff like snakes and people who are likely to tune into an Atheist Experience show, but it's not complete. What example, Jeremy, give me an example of a synchronicity or a coincidence, whatever, that has happened to you that you're just like, this is so big, it's got to point to a God.
I don't know if I would define it as I usually use the word deity. It pointed me in the direction of actual like West African beliefs, Ifa beliefs, and it really seemed like what people would call like trickster energy, crossroads kind of energy, like the dietitian type energy. Anyway,
what was it?
So I had a dream where I was deemed as the jester, they called it, and I had no beliefs in anything before this dream, and I woke up and synchronicities hit rapid fire on me just between my consciousness and materiality, and it was very daunting and kind of turned me upside down. And
what were those things that happened specifically?
Conversations across the street, finishing a thought I would have. Things eventually started pointing towards that trickster energy. And the name actually even would pop up. And very strange, funny, comical things, like something out of like a Shakespearean dramedy or something. My life just kind of got turned upside down in ways like that.
Yeah, I give up because I need specifics and I never fucking get specifics. What you started with until Jim asked you for clarification was, I had a dream and then a whole bunch of synchronicities happened. Well, first of all, I have no idea what you mean by synchronicity, but we were specifically saying, give us one example of something significant that points to it.
Okay.
And then you didn't do that. I'm still talking. and you didn't do that, and then you went on to say, oh, and a bunch of them happened rapid fire that had a trickster energy. I have no idea what a trickster energy is. How do you know what a trickster energy is?
It's kind of like clowning on you kind of energy. It's kind of like what you're thinking.
I don't. No. I didn't ask what it was.
Sorry.
See, here's the thing. I keep asking very specific questions, and you guys don't answer them. I didn't ask you.
Okay, what's the
what
question?
It was? I said, how do you know what a trickster energy is? How do you know that X qualifies as trickster energy?
It's defined pretty well within Ifa, their spiritual system. They define that energy.
Good. Have one of them call me since you're not going to answer my question. Goodbye.
Yeah, and how do you know as, Western African instead of any of the other trickster gods that are out there, like, Loki, Raven, I'm missing, there's probably half a dozen more out there. Yeah, that makes no sense.
It's very confusing. I mean, I get it. Yeah. I get it. Some people, you're not quite ready, or you didn't think these things through, but, and maybe it's somebody's first time watching, but when you say, oh, it has a trickster energy, and I say, how do you know it's a trickster energy? And then you start to describe what trickster energy is. You're not asking the question. And then when I make that clarification and you are supposed to start answering the question, and you're like, well, it's very well defined in Ifa tradition. Cool.
Yeah, this doesn't tell us how you know that it's that kind of energy. And what do you mean by energy? Because when I think about energy, there's energy in this wire right here that my microphone's attached to the things, and there's energy in the lights, and then there's the heat energy that, it's a nice balmy 70 in here. That's energy. And,
energy, much like a number, like quantum, just gets tossed around as if it's, and here's the problem. By and large, all of us know what energy means. And yet none of us know what each of us means by energy in each specific situation. If I were to tell Jim that I was having a really low energy day, well, contextually, Jim would understand that I'm feeling weak or tired or down, that I'm not feeling particularly energetic. And most of you could figure it out too. But if I told Jim that I had detected some trickster energy, he'd probably look at me like I was doing a bit.
I would assume you were.
Trickster energy. Matt, are you fucking with me? Is that what's going on?
Yeah.
I really wish. I get it. If you don't know, just say you don't know. And if you don't have an understanding, just say you don't have an understanding. But if you're calling in because you're wondering why we don't believe the same things you do, and you cannot describe what it is that you believe or why, there's your answer. That's why we don't accept it, because nobody has explained to us what it is, how to detect it, and why we should believe in it. It's just really weird.
And you don't notice things until you decide to start noticing things, right? It's the recency effect. If you buy a red car, all of a sudden everybody's driving a red car. And no, the percentages haven't changed just because you bought a red car. You just started noticing it. And so that, is that what you mean by coincidence? No, I understand that one. It's the recency effect. I understand how, the various cognitive biases work to some extent, as a layperson and not as a professional. So